Chris Scalzi here with
Matt Howell,
and featuring special guest
Celeste Davis.
And this week on the first run, we're going to discuss Jordan Peele's latest horror film, Us, as well as a Netflix Choose Your Own Adventure original, the Black Mirror film, Bandersnatch. And then finally, it's the return of fan favorite segment, Call It, where you're going to have to make a choice. It's going to be A or B. It's going to be one or two. And they're all always relatively Sophie's choices. It's going to be tough on you. So let's start everything up, though, with a clip from Us.
You know how sometimes things line up?
Yeah.
You know, like coincidences. Since we've been here, they've been happening more and more. I feel like it means like she's getting closer.
Who? The Mirror Girl?
You don't believe me?
I do. I do. I'm processing. Okay? Just can't believe you kept all this inside for so long. You know I'm here, right?
So before we jump into Jordan Peele's latest film, which I think, Matt, did we both end up? We do a Cullis, just for your own edification. We do a summer film bracket, right? So for every year for the summer, we kind of whittle down, kind of like your March Madness, and we figure out what we think our favorite film of the summer is going to be. And of course, Captain Marvel made us do it extra early this year. But I think in the end, Us ended up being my pick. Matt, was it yours as well?
It was not. No, Endgame was my pick.
That's right. That's right. So before we jump into Us, if I may, Cullis, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who the heck are you? What are you doing? Where can people find you online? What's the name of the show you're on? What's going on?
All right, guys. Well, I'm Celeste. You know, I'm a country boy from Georgia, just here now living in near the confines of Seattle, Washington. I'm on another podcast, Feeling Film Podcast. We're based out of Seattle. It's along with two very special hosts, Aaron White. Let me get that right. Aaron White and Patrick Hicks. So if you want to go check those guys out, their social media handles are by their name. And if anybody wanted to check me out, my username on Twitter is Black Nerd Magic. Instagram is Black Nerd 91. And come on by, send me a message, or come up to my page. We can have a discussion about any kind of film you want. I love all types of films, and documentary is my favorite genre. But yeah, I'm a film buff, and it's amazing.
You don't hear that often, that someone's favorite genre is documentary. I don't think I've ever actually heard that before.
Yes, I grew up on my grandparents. They used to watch a lot of documentaries when I was little, so that was my kind of introduction to the whole genre. And since now, I'm a stickler for anything that comes out, sports, political, nature, true crime, all that stuff interests me.
There you go. Fascinating. And I'm glad I told you before we went on air that I would screw up your name, and I was glad I was able to come through with that. So, Us. Okay. So Matt and I were both big fans of Get Out. I remember being blown away walking out of the theater in that thing. I was just floored. I was riveted. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, and I couldn't wait to see what Jordan Peele was coming up with next. So to break it down, we have doppelgangers of our family, right? And they are played by Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, and we have Madison Curry and Shahadi Wright Joseph as the children. And they are basically stalked by their doppelgangers, and they're trying to figure out what's happening and to try and survive the evening. And as with Get Out, there's also a lot more going on than just that. So let me ask you, just Cullis, what do you think? Has Peele avoided the sophomore slump? And what are your thoughts about Us?
Oh, I think he has greatly avoided the sophomore slump. ever since the first trailer came out on Christmas, I consider it another gift to me. The trailer was well made. Honestly, a masterwork as far as the flip of I Got Five on it, one of the greatest hip hop songs ever, just reeled me in. And this is my most anticipated film of the year. So when March 19th came around, I went to the film screening up in Seattle, and it was a packed house. I knew that it was going to be good. Like, I trust Jordan Peele. Like, Get Out just made such an effect on me. Like, I was just ready to get behind anything that Peele set his mind to. And he has a brilliant imagination. So I knew that Us would deliver, but I was wondering the type of social message that we were going to get with Us. Like, Get Out, we kind of deal with the current African-American experience, white liberal racism, microaggressions, all that stuff. So for Us, I was trying to figure out, like, are we going to get a connection to Get Out, or are we going to get a standalone, another social contemporary horror film? And we seem to get another social horror film that works on its own universe. And Us delivered for me. I love the acting. Lupita is amazing. Like, honestly, if she does not get a Best Actress nomination this year, I'm going to go off and probably riot in the streets. She gives one of the best horror film performances ever.
Colette, I'm telling you, I'm seeing Toni Collette all over again. I really am.
That's what I said in the tweet last week. I fear that we're going to get another Toni Collette situation, because Toni Collette was impressive, and you saw what happened to her. I just think that Oscars have a thing as dismissing horror as not a respectable genre for some reason. Like, we've had The Shining, we've had Scream, we've had even classics like Frankenstein, Dracula, but the Oscar just seems to never want to give it its due.
Exorcist, right, Matt? That's the only horror film that's ever won Best Picture. Am I correct? It's The Exorcist. Right?
I don't think it.
Oh,
won.
Didn't win?
I think it was nominated.
Nominated.
Oh, just nominated. Okay. Oops. All right. So clearly, Colette is a fan of Us. Matt, what are your thoughts? Did Jordan dodge the sophomore?
Okay. So I'm coming into this. I'm coming into this podcast, and I read some of Cullis's tweets, and I knew I was not going to be very popular in this after I watched the film. And here's the thing. I liked Get Out a lot, but the thing that kind of gave me pause about Get Out is that there was long stretches where I didn't find it very suspenseful. And I've been on record many times saying I don't like comedy horror very much. I don't like comedy in my horror. Even though I love the security guard in Get Out, I forget his name, but he was a lot of fun. But for this, I don't know, man. I was not scared at all. And it wasn't even scared. I wasn't tense, or it wasn't suspenseful to me. And a lot of the horror elements I thought were really cliched. I mean, the herky-jerky movements, the creepy smiles, I just wasn't on board with a lot of it. I mean, I really liked Winston Duke. I really liked Lupita. Heck, I even liked Tim Heidecker quite a bit. I thought he was funny. But as far as a horror movie goes, I just thought it was kind of a mess. I really did. I just didn't think it wasn't very effective as a horror film. And, I don't even think he really explained it very effective in a storytelling sense either.
That is, wow. I am disappointed to hear that, but excited. Because Colette, let me tell you, the weakness of this show, if there even is one, is the fact that Matt and our taste is too similar. So we tend to. It's always like, if we disagree on a grade, it's like a B or a minus level, right? It's always spot on. So when Matt is exceptionally wrong, like he is now, it makes me very, very excited. In fact, I get to finally play this.
We're always right. I was.
Oh, it cuts off. Damn it. I did a bad job in it, because it says we're always right. And then Matt says, I'm wrong, which is, I got to now fix that clip. But you are wrong. So this thing, first off, just like Colette says, Lupita Nyong'o in this thing is fantastic. I mean, she's able to create two entirely different characters, and yet you're able to connect with both of them. And I find the film to be funny, scary, and thrilling. And I think the thing that kind of holds it together is its universal criticism. I almost think my only concern is that his his political commentary is almost too broad, because there's, but is it, here's the fun part where I start to contradict myself. All right, so when she goes into that discover yourself thing in the very beginning as a child, right? There's the Native American iconography that's all around it. So we're dealing with, it's a universal criticism of classism, racism, basically any marginalized group. There's a criticism on free will. Do you ever really even have it? If we deny a group, are we limiting their potential? I mean, that's where I think the Hands Across America thing kind of comes in as well. Is that these doppelgangers, when they finally emerge from where they are, they're accomplishing something that wasn't really able to be done back in the day, right? So showing that if these marginalized groups are given an opportunity, that they will rise to the occasion. So I think, never mind the whole us versus US, right? Initialism. So there's a lot of stuff in here that he has to say. And I think for the most part, that Peele's very successful with it. If I think there's any real shortcoming, I think that it's got about 5 to 8 minutes of exposition, kind of weighs the film down when we're finding out who the doppelgangers are, right?
And it's so incredibly critical. It is so interminable. Sitting here like in her affected voice, I'm like, come on, let's go. I was that just took me out of the thing completely.
Yeah, honestly, when I saw her go into the room in the board, she started talking. I was like, "Oh, this is."
She's even in a classroom.
Yeah, she's in a classroom. I was like, "Wow, this is how we found it out." I kind of thought that was a little bit of lazy writing, a little bit. Like, you know, I expected a little bit better. I expected it to be tightened up a little bit. You know, I just expect the full on like discussion, you know, about it and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. The exposition in some capacity is necessary, because without it, I don't think the film has the same intellectual resonance. Mm-hmm. But there may have been a better way to have delivered that message and that information than, as Mystery Science Theater would say, exposition theater, where someone just goes on for a while and explains the whole plot of the film.
Yeah, I think the film could have been a lot more. I think it could have been a lot more successful if he, instead of doing the exposition, he kind of explored that as actually showing it on screen, and maybe cut out some of the kind of mayhem that we saw around it. I would have been okay with losing some of that mayhem to make it a little more focused and maybe a little more show, not tell.
I don't think that's entirely wrong. I don't.
Yeah, honestly, I think you know, some scenes could have been given to exploring the depths of how the tether became to be. You know, we get kind of a few statements about, you know, the government, these people, you know, use these tether. They were going to use them to control the people upstairs. But, you know, I found myself wanting them to explore it a little bit more. Like, don't open the door all the way, but just give me a little bit more.
I agree with that. I think that's right. Chris, you're wrong.
Maybe I am.
You are wrong.
I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I think Cullis, as you said too in your opening, his use of music is spot on as well. The imagery, the one glove. So I think at one point Jordan Peele had said that like Michael Jackson was the patron saint of duality, though obviously that has become more of a darker subject. Still, it's I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed Us. I thought it was a great little roller coaster ride, and I think Lupita Nyong'o, this whole film basically hangs on her, and she knocks it out of the park. Mm-hmm. So I'm giving Us an A-. I am. I'm standing by.
Really?
I am.
Really? So wait a minute. So you had this going all the way. I think you even declared before we started the bracket, like how Us was just going to be it. Like, do you think that what we're about to see for the rest of the year, like, you think it's going to hold up as well against, I don't know, John Wick or your boy Shazam or something? Like,
well, obviously those are different films, and there will be other films that come out in the year that have more dramatic effect. And remember, we exempted Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from the bracket because it would be both of our number ones as a layup.
I'm just talking about what's in the bracket.
The bracket. Will it be the best film in the bracket? Possibly. I think the big contenders for me will be the films you named, really, right? Shazam and John Wick 3, and maybe the dark horse being Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
So, as far as in your bracket, do you have Arya Star's Midsummer in that bracket?
We don't.
We don't.
I think that could be a good one. I think it's going to be a good one.
I think it's a good one too.
Yeah, I think you're entirely right. I think we what were the horror films we had in there? We had 2. I can't find my.
We had Pet Sematary as well.
Pet Sematary. I just saw the original this weekend. Pretty good film. Pretty good.
Yeah, they had 85% right now for Pet Sematary and Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow, I'm surprised.
I am surprised by that as well.
Me too. I'm really sad that they went with a PG-13 rated instead of keeping it R.
Did?
Yes, it's PG-13 rated.
That's disappointing. Oh well, it can still be scary, I guess. Well, I got R right here on Rotten Tomatoes for horror.
Is it R?
Yeah, on the Rotten Tomatoes, it is.
Okay, maybe there was a commercial that came out that steered me the wrong way.
Could be. I don't know. All right, so go ahead. Special guest, Kales, what's your letter grade for us?
I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one and give it a minus.
There.
Honestly, for me, I still consider Get Out the superior film. That's just me. But Us is a valiant effort. You know, it's right up there.
I would agree in the statement that Get Out is a superior film. I would give Us, I'm sorry guys, a C+.
C+.
Yes.
You could, if I had some more alcohol, you could talk me into a B+. But there's no way you can get me down to a C+.
It's just, I was incredibly underwhelmed. And honestly, I went with a friend of mine. She was completely underwhelmed. The guy at work who's really into horror movies. He was like, I was expecting more. So, you know, I don't know. I just don't know how well this thing's going to age. I don't know if it's going to be a classic like Get Out is.
Fine. Whatever.
Hey, man, everybody's got to have an opinion. You know,
That's
everybody
right.
has an opinion.
This is what you wanted, Chris.
Yeah.
wanted us to disagree.
Well, it's here, damn it. And it breaks my heart a little bit, but that's fine. If you've had a chance to see us, shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Let us know your thoughts. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Could I be wrong? Let me know. Feedback@thefirstrun.com. Matt Cullis, coming up on Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday. That is April 2nd. Well, I didn't think it could happen, but they did it. They finally made a good film in this franchise, and now here's your chance to check it out.
This is Tina's house. And this, it's toilet paper. You use it for when you... Here, just take a roll. No. You gotta throw it. Like this. How bad?
And that's when Bumblebee throws all the toilet paper. It goes everywhere. Then Bumblebee. It's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday. It's April 2nd. Kales, have you seen the only good Transformers film, Bumblebee?
Sadly, I have not, and it's not even my fault that I didn't get to go see it. My girlfriend had made me promise her that we were going to go see it together. I had an opportunity to go see it, but she had another obligation to go to, so I kind of had to take one for us and be like, well, you know what? I'm just going to wait for the DVD. So no, I have not seen it.
Well, there you go. Now there's your big chance. Are you a fan of the Transformers films in general?
To tell you the truth, the only one I can tolerate is the first one with Shia LaBeouf, and mostly because of Megan Fox, to be honest. The other ones, Revision of Fallen, Age of Extinction, like the Last Night was the catapult to just this. This is when I knew that Michael Bay needed to stop. I was like, can you please stop doing this? Like the way that the aspect ratio kept changing in that film, I was like, what is going on? Like,
that guy.
Yeah,
I'm not. Sorry.
And yeah, the only one I could do is the first one, but I was very excited for this one, you know, seeing the director behind it, seeing the new way that they were telling the narrative, you know, so I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. We both really enjoyed it. I'm a big 80s guy too, so it has that 80s soundtrack throughout. Though I think they're still moving forward with another Michael Bay-verse sequel, because unfortunately this one just didn't do that well, and it's really disappointing, unfortunately. If you pick it up, you get some deleted and extended scenes as well as some outtakes, 5 making of featurettes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Another film that we found frustrating is Adam McKay's Vice, coming out about Dick Cheney, includes some deleted scenes. Did you catch up with Vice? What were your thoughts on that one?
Vice was very disappointing. I agree with both of you guys on your take on that. I went to it. I wasn't expecting a bit short, but I was expecting for Adam McKay to kind of make me laugh and to make me interested the whole time. And the most part, the jokes didn't work for me, you know. And also, I felt at times they were kind of making Dick Cheney as like this hero archetype, you know, which I kind of didn't like, you know. Yeah, I was not a big fan of Vice, sadly.
But man, Bale was fantastic in that thing. But
He was
still. Clint Eastwood's return to acting is coming out as well. The Mule, where he plays the Asian drug runner. I saw that one. It was interesting. Not, you know, Clint's best work, but still worth watching. The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot, starring Sam Elliott, is coming out as well. I've heard some mixed reviews about that, but the title alone makes me think it's something I'm going to have to check out. Nancy Drew and The Hidden Staircase. I feel like this was out like a week ago. Yet it's getting released on Blu-ray and DVD now. Shout Factory is giving us Rust Creek. An overachieving college student gets lost on her way to a job interview and in a wrong turn leaves her stranded deep in the Kentucky forest. She must then defend herself against the harsh elements and a band of ruthless outlaws. I don't know why. Most of my outlaws, I prefer them to be filled with Ruth. Shout is also releasing Pledge. A group of freshmen offered a chance to pledge what they believe is an exclusive fraternity, and everything's going horribly, horribly wrong. New to Blu-ray, Arrow is releasing Terraformers. It's the latest film by Takashi Miike and includes a brand new high-definition Blu-ray presentation of that bad bear and some other making-of featurettes, some outtakes, footage from the 2016 Japanese premiere. I got to catch up with my Miike. I had no idea this thing even came out. I have no idea even what it is. But we'll have to see what's going on with that. And then Green Card and An Innocent Man with Tom Selleck are both being released on Blu-ray for the first time. Your straight-to-DVD pick of the week, I'm going to go with Robot Ninja. Late one night, frustrated comic book artist Leonard Miller witnesses the brutal rape and murder of a young couple at the hands of a ruthless small-town thug. Seeking vigilante justice, Miller decides to become his famous character, stalking the night, intent on spilling blood of any criminal who stands in his past. This is from a new company called Tempe. It's a brand new 2K film scan of the original 16mm. And there's a slew of featurettes on this thing, including the first 1,000 units are hand-numbered and autographed by the writer-director J.R. Bookwalter. I saw the trailer for this thing on YouTube, and it looks like a delight. That's Robot Ninja. Go check out that trailer, and maybe you'll end up buying that thing. Matt, what should we be streaming this week?
All right. So I'm going to pick Punch Drunk Love, which I think is maybe Adam Sandler's best film. He plays Barry, a guy with a bit of an anger problem, and he tries to escape all the harassment he has around in the world, and he falls in love with a young woman played by Emily Watson. Also has the late Philip Seymour Hoffman in it, and it is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's easily Sandler's best film. I can't even remotely think of anything that would be better than that. Of course, it's P.T. Anderson. So
it's very true. It's available on Netflix, if I forgot to mention that.
All right. Let's move on then, gentlemen. Let's talk a little bit about the Netflix film Black Mirror's Bandersnatch, the Choose Your Own Adventure movie. We'll see how that all came together. I'm curious to see what adventures my fellow hosts have chosen. We'll be right back.
How many times have you watched Pac-Man die? Doesn't bother him. He just tries again. One of us is jumping. So who's it going to be? It's a nice breeze up here. So come on. Which one of us is jumping? You do it. Fair enough.
So who'd you choose? Did you choose Stefan or Stefan, excuse me? Or what's his name there? Colin. Let's go around the room. Matt, who'd you choose? Who jumped?
The first time I did Stefan.
All right. And what about you, Collis? Who'd you choose to jump?
First time around, I chose Colin.
We lost you. Who was it?
First time around, I chose Colin.
Yeah, that's who I did too. So Bandersnatch is a choose-your-own-adventure. I loved those books as a kid, let me tell you. I read every one of them I could at the local library. I couldn't get enough of them. And now we have the film version. And I got to say, I was pretty excited about checking this thing out. I know we're a little bit late on this thing, but I'm glad we finally got to see it. The problem is it successful? So we have a gentleman who is creating a video game, right? And it's an interactive video game where you get to choose your own path, choose your own adventure, if you will. And as he starts to create and work on this game, he possibly slowly descends into madness. Or not. I don't know. It's hard to say. But Matt, what were your thoughts about the Bandersnatch? Did it work as a film, or is it too hung up on its plot contrivance to truly be appreciated and enjoyed as a movie? What were your thoughts?
So that's a lot to unpack there, Chris. So I will say this. So I'm a big fan of Black Mirror in general. I like the TV show. And it was fun to kind of watch it because there's all these little Easter eggs to past episodes in throughout Bandersnatch. And I was really on board with this. I think up to the first choice, and it's the choice that I think they expect everybody to make. So then it like kind of loops back around really quickly. And I thought it was very clever the way they structured it, even when you would go back and make a choice.
The serial choice?
No, not the serial choice. The choice of whether to create the game in the office or at his house.
Okay.
So if you pick if you pick the in the office, which I think was what everybody expects him to pick, it actually wraps up real quick, and and then it just kind of starts over again. But then it changes a little bit, and I think the conceit was really good to a point. And now I sat through every single one of these, and I went back and did every single choice. So I saw every ending that there was, 2 hours, 2.5 hours later. But I think it started to wear a little bit, and some of them get pretty ludicrous. But I enjoyed it. I was kind of really on board with a lot of it.
What about you, Coles? What were your thoughts on Bandersnatch?
I thought Bandersnatch was good for most points. As soon as you get that first choice of which cereal to get, I thought like, oh wow, like this is something very new that that I've never done before. And I thought it was very cool, until you get to some of the choices and you get to a closed loop and then they set you right back again. I felt that, it wasn't really immersive in those aspects. I feel like for the first time that Netflix is trying something out like this, it did a really great job. The story for the most part was okay. It's an okay story. It's a story that you would see in like a TV film. So it didn't really grab me like emotionally or like I was invested in it. But as far as you getting to choose and everything like that, I had a lot of fun with it. So much fun. Me and my girlfriend just kept going back and choosing this, choosing that, seeing what was going to happen. So it's a very great experience. Is that part? It's better done, if you have like a lot of your friends come over and you can like play with it that way. So I think Netflix they hit at least a triple base hit on this one. I can't wait for them to hit the home run in the future when they do more of these.
That would be interesting. At times I felt the thing may have been a little too meta for me. Mm-hmm. When they're talking about the free will and the choices and how you're being controlled by somebody. There's even an option at one point to select Netflix like as a response thing.
Yeah, did you do that?
I did indeed. And I think though the film is technically fascinating as just how it was all constructed and done, I felt, and I do think that the choices kind of did build up the tension, and the eventual selections were seamless. Everything worked perfectly fine, so that was really well done. But I don't know, for me personally, if the narrative was really worth repeated viewings. Mm-hmm. Right? It didn't grab me enough where I had to see, oh, well, what if I go here? What if I do this? Right? I just think the narrative for me didn't grab me enough to want to really pursue all the endings. And then I was doing some research after watching it that kind of got me a little, I don't know if concern's the word. It's not, I'm uncomfortable. Is what they're doing with all the data. So they're tracking you. Netflix tracks every option you choose, right? And then they'll use that, I'm sure, to power their algorithm to recommend other stuff to you. But I don't know what else they're doing with that information. And I don't know how. I'm not entirely comfortable with it. Because there's a group of people. Because I found myself going with the more benign responses most of the time, like kill dad, don't kill dad, that type of thing. Though I did go elect to chop up the dead body at one point. So I'm sure that threw my algorithm all the way off.
Did that too.
But I just don't know how comfortable I am with that kind of, I don't know. I'm probably being a little paranoid, right? But still, it's okay. I just think I like you said, Colette. I feel like I'm eager to see improvement on this and the next step. It's technically interesting. I just as a story, I just don't know if I really cared.
Yeah. I think I think it's technically impressive, and I think I don't know. Do you Collis, do you watch Black Mirror at all?
Oh, Black Mirror is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I love Black Mirror.
Yeah, Chris needs to get on that. You need to
I've only seen the first episode. And
it gets so much better. It gets so much better.
Hell of a lot better. Hell of a lot better.
Yeah. But in the context of the show, I thought it was pretty clever, and it kind of hits all the themes. I think you're right. After a while, the novelty of it kind of wears off pretty quick. And then it just became kind of a bit of a slog as I was going through every single choice. But I was very obsessive at the same time. I really wanted to see all of the different things. And I was just really taken in by the hook, even though I probably stopped caring after a while. I just wanted to get everything. I wanted to catch them all, Chris. I wanted to catch them all.
It's the Pokemon of Black Mirror movies.
So the real question, Chris, did you pick Thompson Twins, or did you pick Now That's What I Call Music Too?
Okay, so I feel like I dropped the ball on this because I picked Thompson Twins because, as I said earlier in the show, I'm a big 80s fan. But it was a Now compilation in the 80s, right?
It
so
was.
I would have gotten other stuff. So what was the other stuff?
It was, I think it was Kajagoogoo. It was Too Shy or whatever it's called.
Ah, well, Hold Me Now is a much better song than Too Shy. So.
Okay.
I guess I made the right decision.
There you did. There you go. So what's your letter grade, Chris?
I'm giving Bandersnatch a B-.
B-. Okay.
What about you, Matt?
I'll give it a B+. Yeah, B+.
All right. And super special guest, Colette, what'd you give the Bandersnatch?
I'll give it a B.
We are miles apart on all of this.
Covered the gambit of the B's.
We sure did.
That is fantastic. Any other final words or thoughts on the Bandersnatch before we move on, gentlemen?
Make sure you watch the rest of Black Mirror before you watch this. I think you'll appreciate it a lot more.
Son of a bitch. Or as I should probably say.
We're always right. I was...
Oh, wrong one. God, how many times am I going to screw up?
Seriously.
I'm very upset.
You son of a bitch.
That's what I'm looking for. Not my best work tonight, folks. I hope you can bear with us. All right. If you've had a chance to see Bandersnatch, shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Coming up, it's going to be Call It. I got some good ones. Ooh, I'm so excited. I got some good ones. This is going to be pretty good. Let's jump into it when we get back.
Your fleet is lost, and your friends on the indoor moon will not survive. There is no escape, my young apprentice. The Alliance will die, as will your friends. Good. I can feel your anger. I am defenseless. Take your weapon. Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
All right. So obviously, I got my opening question. It's going to be about Mark Hamill. That's why you just heard a clip from Star Wars that he was in the room. Trust me.
Yeah, there was no Mark Hamill in that at all.
But he's in the room.
Did you just get the show canceled? Is Disney going to come down on this? Like
quite possibly could. I'm not scared. I got lawyers.
Of course you do.
All right, gentlemen, Call It. So first off, let me set up the premise. Mark Hamill, if you didn't hear, it may even happen today. Hamill was announced as the next voice of Chucky.
I did see that.
Yes, I did. That finally made me interested in that Child's Play remake.
I got to tell you, I think you're exactly right. I think if they had to go with somebody outside of what's his name? I'm blanking now. What the hell's his name?
Was it Brad Dourif or something? Not Brad Dourif. Had to be somebody else.
Dourif. Yeah, it's Bradley Dourif.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're even pronouncing it correct and I'm not. But thank you very much. Yep. Brad Dourif or Dourif. Either way, Mark Hamill is your new Chucky, folks.
Okay.
So Call It. Who's the better Joker, Mark Hamill or Jack Nicholson?
Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill for me.
Matt?
Yeah, I think that's a layup, Chris. I'm gonna go
Really?
I'm gonna go with Mark Hamill as well. Now, if you had said Heath Ledger, that may have been a more difficult choice, but
Yeah.
I think Mark
See,
Hamill is a quintessential Joker.
I think that Heath Ledger is the obvious choice.
Mm.
So maybe I was wrong about that. For me, it would have been if I went Ledger Hamill, I go, well, it's Ledger. Come on.
Mm.
So I thought there'd be more of a conflict between Hamill and Nicholson. But clearly, all right, let me ask you both that way then. Coles, who do you go with? Ledger or Hamill then?
It's a close, man. This is like sudden death, but I'm gonna have to go with Heath Ledger, man. I mean, I think he's still the best villain in film history to me.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
Yes. Best one. Best villain.
All right.
God. I think I'm just gonna stick with Hamill because there's such a huge body of work that he's got, and when he's on, he's really on, and he can get really creepy. Like in those Arkham games, he is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So the response is Hamill versus Hamill v. Nicholson, and then Ledger, Hamill v. Ledger. That's the correct answer.
I see.
Coles, what do you got? Lay one on us.
All right, so I decided to do yeah, y'all do films for the college scenarios, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so I have one. So it's a couple of David Fincher classics right here. So which one? Seven or Fight Club?
Matt?
I'm gonna keep Seven. Just because as much as I have a love of Fight Club, I think it's because I saw it when I was a dumb 18-year-old and I have like nostalgia for it, and I don't know how well it holds up. So I'm gonna go with Seven, even if it has Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, that's ooh. So people don't get Fight Club a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like they think it's a celebration of toxic masculinity when really it's an indictment of it. But Seven also, you have the Kevin Spacey issue. But I go with the Scott Aukerman thing. If you listen to Comedy Bang Bang at all, is you're allowed to appreciate all the work that artists did up until you found out the horrible thing that he did.
That's clever because, you know,
that gets Baby Driver.
The remix to Ignition was playing in the gym the other day, and I was singing along. And so, you know,
I don't know. The R. Kelly stuff was, I think, pretty well known for a long time.
I was just ignoring it when that came out in 2005.
I think so.
Probably.
So 7 v Fight Club, man. I guess I'm gonna go 7. I guess. What would your decision be there, Coles, host, author of question?
Honestly, for me, it would have to be Fight Club for me. You know, I love Seven with all my heart. You know, especially Morgan Freeman's ending quote, one of my favorite movie quotes of all time. But I don't know, just Fight Club. It's just it felt just like, you know, a new watershed moment for me when I first saw it. You know, I was changed forever after seeing it. You know, the messages of like masculinity, consumerism, just it's such a quotable film also too. Like there's so much underneath the surface of it. You know, I can watch it even today and just find something new about it. So I had to choose Fight Club.
Yeah, I mean, Fight Club is funny and it is vibrant in a way that Seven isn't. So I mean, yeah, ask me in a week, I'd probably pick Fight Club too. So
it is, yeah, and maybe a little more watchable. The other one is just oppressive.
It is, in the best way possible.
Oh, sure, of course. Matt, what do you got?
All right, guys, very topical. You got to pick one. He can only produce in one way from here on out. Jordan Peele. Do you like comedy Peele or do you want horror Peele?
Well,
Chris?
I didn't. What was the movie the two of them did together?
Keanu.
Oh yeah, God, that was so bad.
It wasn't. I didn't. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't appreciate that as well. I guess I got to go horror Peele because if I lose Key and Peele forever, do I get to have the old show? Because I don't know if I want to live in a world where substitute
you know
teacher
what?
doesn't
No,
exist.
no. I'm gonna make this more difficult for you. It's stricken from the record. Gone. It's gone forever.
Jesus, I can't. No, then I got to go comedy Peele because here's the thing. the show got I have a close friend of mine who had went through a really difficult time where they were really in a bad place, and I showed them that substitute teacher sketch, and it basically turned them around. It was so funny. So I don't know. I don't want to live in a world where I cannot have seen that. Forget the story I just told you. I need to have Jay Quellen. I can't lose that. I can't. So I got to go comedy, I guess.
For me, I mean, this might seem like a little bit of a hot take, but I don't know. Only some of Key and Peele worked for me, when I used to watch it. There were some episodes I liked. Other times I found it very annoying. As far as horror appeal, I have a special place in my heart for Get Out, and Us was also a great foray into the horror psychological thriller arena. So my money will have to go to horror appeal. I can't wait to see what he does next with his social thriller films.
Matt?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go with comedy appeal just because I really love the college football skit. I thought it was hilarious. But at the same time, I'm desperately curious to see what he does with the Candyman remake. So that's a tough decision for me because I really want to see what he does with Candyman. But I guess if I have to choose one in a scenario of my own design, I will choose comedy appeal for sure.
And you're getting a smaller over, though, right? That's part of the issue, too. We don't know how many films he's going to make.
True.
We also don't know how they're going to turn out. So that's true. Yeah, I hate that question. You're not.
I'm sorry. Well, it's supposed to be a tough question, Chris. That's the game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Call it, gentlemen. Who is the better Alfred? Michael Gough, Jeremy Irons, or Michael Caine?
Michael Caine, and this is a layup for me. Michael Caine, he just embodied Alfred so well. He just felt like that grandfather, who would just come into your bed at night if you were a kid and just give you cookies and tell you bedtime stories. And he was the rock behind Batman. He supported him. He did everything that was needed to do, kept his identity hidden, also let him know when he had lost it, when it was time to let it go. He was the definitive version of Alfred. Jeremy Irons is a little bit too scathy for me. It feels like he's always trying to get a dig at Batman for some reason, or Bruce Wayne.
He's kind of a dick, isn't he? That's true.
He is.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm going to go with Michael Caine as well. Yeah, for all the reasons that he listed. Although Jeremy Irons, it is funny to see him tear into Batfleck on many occasions, and I think he deserves it. Just because his smug face just annoys me while he's strutting around up there.
Yeah, it's probably got to be Michael Caine as well. So I'm curious, though. Call us. Who's your favorite Batman?
My favorite Batman. Oh wow. If
Adam
I
West
had
is allowed.
Adam West. If I had to really choose who's my favorite Batman, I'm gonna have to say Christian Bale. Now, as far as was true to the comics, Batfleck was probably the most one that was closer to the comics and everything. And I also love that suit. But Christian Bale's Batman was also very good. I would have to consider him the best, but Batfleck comes almost close to taking that reign.
I don't think I can argue with that. I think it's going to be like a Henry Cavill thing where he never really got the good film. I think Cavill could have been the best Superman. Possibly, but he just never got a good film. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
I would have to say Kevin Conroy. I just wanted to throw that name out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's fair. All right, call us. What you got?
All right. I got another couple of films, couple of sci-fis right here. Ex Machina or Annihilation?
I'm gonna go with Ex Machina. I think it's a quieter film, but I think it's a much more interesting film. I really like Annihilation quite a bit, but I think I'm gonna stick with Ex Machina.
Okay.
I'm going Annihilation. I think that though, I think Ex Machina is probably a more thoughtful a film. Annihilation had one of the scariest scenes I can remember of the past 5 years. I mean, zombie bear thing, whatever. I get a chill just thinking about it now. And just conceptually, I find that whole thing fascinating. The ending may be a bit of a what the huh, but still, as far as high-minded science fiction stuff goes with some thrills and scares, I don't think you can do much better than Annihilation.
For me, I would have to choose Ex Machina, and I may be prisoner of the moment because I just rewatched it last night. But I just love the cinematography. All the acting across the board is phenomenal. Dominic Hill Gleeson, Oscar Isaac, and the girl who plays Anna. I always get her name wrong, so I never pronounced it. But
Alicia Vikander. I just go with the Americanized version.
Yes, her. All the acting across the board is great, and also, I got a crazy parallel to Frankenstein. To Frankenstein's story with this film. Oscar Isaac, he's creating all these prototypes, these AIs, and then towards the end, they all turn on him. So it's just a beautifully detailed, well-written film, and the ending was just like the perfect icing on the cake for me as well. So I would have to go with Ex Machina, but I love Annihilation. It was vastly underrated from last year. Vastly underrated.
Very good. Very good. Matt, what do you got?
Okay. Pick one. The other goes away completely. Amazon Prime or Netflix?
Now, do I lose my Prime membership? Or
just a streaming service. Just a streaming service.
Well, considering I've watched maybe 3 things on Amazon Prime, I'm going to go with Netflix. Like, it's pretty much a layup for me. I don't really take advantage of my streaming options on Amazon Prime, really, at all. So
you're missing out.
What's on? Well, what's like what? I watched. What did I watch that was rather kind of like, all right, that's okay. It was one of the big the Jack Ryan show. All right.
Band in the High Castle's pretty good. They bought The Expanse, which
I'm living that crap now, Matt. We don't need to watch a show about it. I haven't seen any of The Expanse yet. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Hard
right?
sci-fi. It's really hard sci-fi, but it's really good. It's very, very good.
All right. No, it's Netflix.
What about you?
For me, if I had to compare this matchup to an analogy, Amazon Prime is a 16 seed and Netflix is the 1 seed for me. Amazon Prime you can tell that there's potential is getting there, especially with the new original show Hannah. I'm interested in watching that. But I just find Netflix original content to be vastly better than Amazon's for right now. Stranger Things, Black Mirror, Orange is the New Black before season 5. I mean, everything before season 5 of Orange is Black is great. Everything else is bad. The original films are starting to pick up at a little bit of quality too. I can see Amazon starting to pick up a little bit of steam, but Netflix is the big dog for me.
All right. So I know I drafted the question. So I think Netflix, I think you guys are both right insofar as I watch Netflix a lot more and I like their original content a lot more. But I would have to go with Amazon Prime. And the only reason I go with that is because they've got all the money. So they are going to get, so if they may be the 16th seed now, but they're the one with the huge endowment. And then in 5 years, they're going to be miles ahead. They're going to be able to get Netflix. I don't see how Netflix is going to be able to compete. I mean, they spend a lot of money.
Netflix isn't going to be the competition. Disney
is. Well, well, yeah. Okay. So then Netflix is going to get crushed, and Amazon Prime is the only one with any money to even compete with Disney.
What about at the new Apple TV Plus? You think Apple TV could compete?
I think they're late to the party. I really
yeah. And it's going to be some crazy for a mere $39.95 a month. You can buy stuff exclusively from iTunes.
And for another $20 a month each, you can get CBS All Access and DC, whatever it is, DC streaming platform. Although, Chris, they announced they have all of their digital comics are going to be on for subscribers for the DC streaming service.
Oh, really? That's happening?
Yeah, that's happening.
That's what's been holding me. I'm always a DC guy, so I think I haven't gone on the DC universe is because it doesn't include digital comics. Wow, that's interesting. My Criterion thing starts next month, though. I'm very excited about that.
It's very exciting.
Yes. Very exciting.
All right, my last one, gentlemen. In honor of Dumbo, Tim Burton movies, Batman Returns, or if Batman's your favorite, then insert that one. But Batman Returns is a better film. Or Beetlejuice.
I will have to say I haven't seen Batman Returns since I was a little kid, but I did see Batman recently about a couple years ago. So I'll have to choose Batman over Beetlejuice because, to be honest, I know this is y'all might be like, wow for this, but I've never seen Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Yeah. Gosh. I'm gonna go with, you know what? I'm gonna go with Beetlejuice. Yes, I'm gonna go with Beetlejuice. I think that's the one.
Yeah, it pains me to say it, but I think Beetlejuice is the correct answer. I like
how you use a definitive word on everything here.
I've always really liked Batman Returns. I've always also liked his outfit, his costume in Batman Returns. It seems to be the most like armor, like it made the most sense.
Yeah.
But still, I think if I had to choose to watch only one of them ever again, it would likely just be Beetlejuice. I think so. Though I haven't seen Beetlejuice in probably 20 years.
There you go.
Though they're working on a sequel, I understand. So you could do a double feature there, Cullis. You can see them both.
Yeah, I might give it a shot.
All right, wrap us up. What do you got?
All right, for my last one, speaking of, we just talked about Disney, The Lion King or Finding Nemo?
Oh, man. I'm going to go with Finding Nemo. I think that's the one I'm sticking with. I'm sticking with my Pixar brand here.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I'd probably go with Finding Nemo as well. I never had Lion King's good, but I never had a particular affection or connection with it. It was right outside my childhood, so I was old enough where, it came out and it was great and all, but I didn't then get to appreciate more, get into Disney animation again with the Pixar stuff until, Toy Story. So that's when I dived back in. Long story short, and obviously not at all interesting, I'm going to go with Finding Nemo.
For me, I would have to say Finding Nemo as well. I'll just tell you a little story. When Finding Nemo first came out on home video, I kid you not, me and my parents and my little brother all went to the Walmart and it was all gone. And it was sold out for like a week straight. You couldn't get a Finding Nemo DVD anywhere. That's how big it was,
Wow.
know. Yeah. And when we all first saw it, it was like I watched it once, and then the next day I watched it again. Then the next day after that, watched it again. And it was like that for like a whole 4 months. I would watch that movie like every day when it first came out. It just has a special place in my heart, about the idea of a father, looking for his child and doing anything it takes just to find him. I've always loved stories like that. And I love Lion King with all my heart, especially looking forward to the new remake coming out this summer. But Finding Nemo is my pick.
Fair enough. The live action, air quotes, remake of The Lion King.
Yeah. Well, quotation, yeah.
Matt, close us out. What do you got?
All right, you ready? All right, Chris. I got a lot of qualifiers for this one, but I'm excited to see how you deal with this. Okay, so one of these two actors, okay, they become a megastar. Everybody loves them. They're in 2 or 3 movies a year in like big tentpole films. But to you, they're no better than they are today. Their performances are not any better. Just for whatever reason, the world at large loves them. So which one do you pick? Jay Courtney or Sam Worthington?
So, call it Courtney and Worthington. Are two actors that whenever we have so we have this thing on the show called the Tatum line, which is when an actor we don't like turns and becomes an actor we like. It started with Channing Tatum. Mm-hmm. I used to not care for Tatum at all. Then I saw 21 Jump Street, and I loved the guy. Mm-hmm. So Jay Courtney and Sam Worthington have not crossed the Tatum line. They haven't sniffed it. And I'm going to go Courtney because I think one of the only entertaining things about Suicide Squad was his Captain Boomerang. So I guess I got to go with Jay Courtney. Man, that's tough.
And it kills you to do it, right?
It does. That is. God.
Yeah, this is going to leave a bad taste in my mouth, but I'm gonna have to go with Jai Courtney too. And I really hated his character in Suicide Squad. With the pink unicorn and it's just like that add more of a bad taste in my mouth with how the film was. His character just made it even more like sickening to sit through. But I cannot stand Sam Worthington. His performance in Avatar is so horrible.
Is he coming back for those Avatar sequels?
If he is, I don't know. I might have to suck it up and just pull through it. But yes, Jai Courtney is my pick, and it really hurts me to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jai Courtney too. For two reasons. One, he was in Spartacus, which was a pretty good show, believe it or not, and so he was actually relatively entertaining in that. And two, he is coming back as Captain Boomerang in James Gunn's version of the Suicide Squad, so maybe he's going to cross the Tatum line at that point. So I got to see how this plays out. Sam Worthington's basically like a wooden board who just somehow has been given sentience. He's not like it's like watching a piece of wood. So at least we'll give Jay the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. So one last thing I wanted to ask you, Colette. So on your Twitter bio, you list yourself as a Tarantino stan. What is your favorite Tarantino film? What do you think his best movie is?
Pulp Fiction, hands down. Pulp Fiction. There was a point when Inglourious Basterds came out. When it first came out, I was like, man, should I put this on the top? And it's almost there, but Pulp Fiction was the reason I even got into the arena of film criticism. It changed my whole outlook on what films could be. So Pulp Fiction is my favorite.
That sounds like the correct answer, though. I will say I also am a huge fan of Inglourious Basterds, and The Hateful Eight hit Netflix a few weeks ago, and I've watched it 2 3/4 times, 2 2/3 times.
It's a commitment.
Wow.
There's something about that thing that I just love. I don't know what it is. So, all right, let's call it. Shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. What are your thoughts? Who would you choose in all of those scenarios? Who's the best Alfred? Jai Courtney or Sam Worthington? Those are two separate questions, by the way. Let us know. Coming up next week, oh boy, it's going to be Harmony Korine's The Beach Bum, starring, all right, himself, Matthew McConaughey, and we're going to do the Blumhouse horror film that just hit Netflix, Mercy Black. So it should be a good one next week. And then we're rolling right into, I'm assuming, Matt, a double feature of Shazam and Pet Sematary.
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's going to be a good, fun couple weeks. Check us out at the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Twitters, pretty much all the social stuff. Just do a search for The First Run. Scroll. Eventually you will find us. I almost dropped the ball. So, Carlos, I don't know if you know, every episode of this show is particularly mastered for a specific listening experience. And this one was mastered to listen to while you're playing a video game. Really nothing too exciting. But I am excited to announce that you can now start picking up physical copies of The First Run at your local Wiz. So go make sure you go check that out. You can grab us there. And I guess that's going to be it for us. Colette, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where, again, can we find you?
All right, so if you go on to Twitter, my name, you can find me by my name, Colette Davis, or by my username. And if you want to find me on Facebook, just type in my name and also join in on the Feeling Film discussion group.
I lost you.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So start over. Just start over. Screw it. Just start. Actually, hold on. Let me count to 5 and then start over. That'll give me a good break point.
Okay. So start right now. All right, so if you want to find me on Twitter, you can even find me at my name, Colette Davis, or my username, Black Nerd Magic. On Instagram, my username is Black Nerd 91. And if you want to find me on Facebook, just type in my name. I'll be there. And you can also join the film group I'm a part of, Feeling Film Discussion Group. Just come in, we'll add you in, and we'll have a good time talking about films.
Fantastic. All right, I really appreciate you coming on, man. It was great. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
We'd love to have you back sometime. Just hit us up. It was a good time. So that's going to be the big show this week, folks. We're going to go ahead and take an extended break, and we'll see you all soon.
Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.
But a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it.